Camp Massatators in the morning. You might wonder, if it's so warm, why is she hiding under a sleeping bag? Because this is like the 5th take because her cleavage kept taking over the videos.
Don't put that in the video.
Biggest disappointment yesterday was going through the beaver area and not seeing any beavers. It was like watching an HBO miniseries on basic cable. Something's missing. See, part of the editing experience that you guys don't get to see is every morning as I'm editing the video, Tater sits there and giggles every time she giggles on camera. So it's, yeah, it's pretty much like that. Yeah, it's like an echo chamber out here. This is why nobody camps around us. So last night was also the first time in a very long time that I risked not having a fly on the tent. I've just been burned too many times by rain coming out of nowhere out here. Actually worked out. We did it because it was just so damn hot and muggy. It was hard to sleep. We couldn't get in the sleeping bags or anything. It was kind of cool. We got a lightning show late at night. There was basically heat or dry lightning, heat lightning, whatever you want to call it, where the entire sky is flashing because of storms off in the distance. Also, every night when we get in the tent, there is a cornucopia of insects that come in with us, and we proceed to try and figure out which ones bite, etc., and get rid of them, and the rest of them we just have to live with. So if you've been tired of us just talking about the heat for days at a time, today is where we stop complaining about the heat and we start complaining about the rain again. For the record, the stickiness was only pretty bad until I put my hiking layers back on. Now it's really bad. Okay, so what's life on trail like today? Picture, cover yourself in honey. Clean like 4/5 of it off so you just have a small sticky layer, and then run around in the dirt for 3 days.
3rd turtle in a row. 3 days of turtles in a row. I think it's gonna be another great day today.
Oh God. Hey, a pop top. Our van back home, quote unquote back home, has one of those. Look really neat. They're kind of a pain in the butt though. Taters is very, very happy when she gets on a bridge for whatever reason. If she's managed to find like a turtle on the bridge, I think her happiness might be, see that face? Yeah, she'd just break.
Perfect temperature, right?
Right now, perfect temperature would be dipping my danglies in a slushie, I would say. So if you can believe it, this is actually the first time I've stopped to swim since starting this trail. I saw some people doing it in Florida, but yeah, they were literally swimming in like pesticide ag runoff, and I decided, yeah, I didn't really need to swim that bad. It was kind of tempting a few times with the gators, because I'm like, if I set up a video and I jump in there, I'm gonna be famous in the internet if I survive. But it's really hard to find a peg leg on short notice in Florida, so I decided not to. Once again, I'm just saying, on the PCT, you find this stuff way more often. I'm all like feeling nice and everything and smell relatively good. My clothing is still so
going on.
Yeah, rugged. But unfortunately, my clothes are still all sweaty and sticky, so I'm really not wanting to put clothes on. Nudist Massatators! Woo! Me, not her, that's the problem, yeah. Bad marketing.
Round, we got some miles to do.
Where she tries to talk through her own giggles. You see why I end up narrating so many of these videos?
I got this. I am really... That river swim was amazing. I'm feeling super relaxed and contented right now. And check out Matt's hair. It's so ruggedly handsome after he gets it wet, huh?
I'm feeling really pissed off at the hair in front of my damn face. This is why I had a freaking buzz cut my entire life.
Thanks for growing it out.
It's okay, she's getting a boob job. Seriously, if this was a PCT, I could dunk this, wash this, put it on the back of my pack, and it would be dry in, a couple of hours. Out here, if I do that, it will be dry, let's see, whenever we stay in the next hotel, and I can hang it over the air conditioner. Okay, that was the greatest thing ever until I had to put pants on and start walking again. Okay, the weather's finally broken a bit. Looks like it's cooling down.
and we got a storm barreling towards us per the forecast. We've actually been trying to debate whether we want to try and run in and get cleaned up at a hotel. Heat advisory has expired, and now it is a severe thunderstorm warning. So the wind's picked up and I can hear thunder over there off to the east-ish. Yeah, you can see the rain coming down. We'll see. Per the radar, there's a red thunder cell that may miss us, may not. After dark, filling in the rain. Fun time. Okay, we ended up finding at least 3 tents where we were hoping to camp, but we found a site a little further on that'll work. Rainstorms coming off and on, and we keep getting all these interesting weather statements hitting us, so we'll see what happens tonight. Home sweet home for the night.
Home sweet home.
Coffee time in the morning. The rainstorm, it's still saying it's going to rain throughout the day, but it hasn't started raining yet. We are actually looking at getting a shuttle into town. Blondie is currently planning and arranging shuttles and hotels and things while I narrate this fine video for you fine people. Basically, our feet are really beat up and we're all sticky and sweaty and everything. So pretty good to do a reset, because from here it's going to be smaller towns without major hotels or anything for a while. And there's a cheap hotel we found. Okay, and while somebody was screwing around instead of packing up and getting going, now the rain has started. Maybe it's that eye-rolly person. She looks kind of suspicious. Can you really trust somebody with that much frizz? What can you do when it's rainy and you're stuck in the tent? Me? I just prod taters with my beef stick. This morning's poetry reading in Camp Massatators. My feet like hamburgers. I want a hamburger. So yes, it's raining, but not too much. And the way rain works out here, it actually takes a while for it to get through the canopy. So to start out, you can hear it hard, raining much harder up there, but it's barely dripping here. Downside is when it stops raining, it continues to rain for a while because, again, water in the canopy. So the good news is, with help from Wayne, the Australian foot doctor, and Leo, I have managed to rehab the Achilles thing a little bit. I'm still limping first thing in the morning, but it's actually improving without needing a bunch of time off, because that's the big thing. Yes, rest, ice, compression, elevation, etc. But I'm kind of doing a distance hike here. I kind of don't have an unlimited amount of time. I need to keep a reasonable pace if I'm going to make Canada. So unless it's actually going to knock me off the trail, it's better to just kind of ease off a little bit, which we've been doing, and try and kind of manage it over time as I hike. So hopefully that'll keep improving, and then I can be on to, you know, whatever the next issue is. Dealt with the warts, ended up with the Achilles, dealt with the Achilles, who knows. So it is supposed to rain throughout the day, off and on thunderstorms, but at least so far it hasn't been that really hard downpour rain that just gets into everything and makes things miserable. This light drippy rain is just kind of a fact of life out here. You know, it barely needs a rain jacket at the moment. So normally I'd be totally okay hiking in this, but my feet are getting a little hamburgery, so I will be much happier after taking a Nero in town, getting some more food, since I'm always hungry and grumpy out here now, and doing some laundry, so things won't be as sticky when we get back out. Also, the cool thing about taking a zero here, where we have a low-cost hotel, is we can get everything done, and then we won't have to stop, you know, and take a town evening until Delaware Water Gap at least. Because we were looking at Port Clinton, and it's like, yeah, we can get there easy enough in a day, but there's only one hostel and it's all booked up and yada yada. See, Tater's views days going into town is such a bummer because she doesn't want to get off trail. I tend to view them as guaranteeing I can stay on trail longer afterwards, so they're all good. Plus, food and maybe beer. Well, except we're in Pennsylvania, which seems to have the most messed up liquor laws of any place I've been. So maybe booze. Okay, well, I guess I was kind of asking for it to get harder with that. Oh yeah, it's barely raining bullshit, huh? Oh well.
I can hardly believe it. 4th day in a row of turtle encounter.
Well, all things considered, this morning went pretty damn good. Part of me is bummed to get off the trail, but nachos, hopefully.
I think Matt's happy. One of the selections we got from Beer Mountain was a beer named after Matt's mascot.
Which is horrible, but the beer is horrible, not beer.
No, the beer was fine.
It is a horrible, horrible morning in Camp Massatators, which has relocated to a hotel room that inexplicably, and whatever that word is, got filled with empty pizza boxes, beer bottles, and so-so McDonald's coffee. And she's making me get out of here at 7:30 in the morning. I know.
We gotta get to the post office in time.
Oh yeah, that excites me.
And we got plenty of rest yesterday.
I was like, it's okay.
And we are back. And it's not raining at the moment, just cloudy. And having successfully conquered Beer Mountain, we are now back on the trail. And apologies to all my beer snob friends. The best beer of what we got was the Dos Equis Amber. So yesterday, we actually had a confirmed shuttle ride, and that person ended up bailing on us. We got there, we're waiting in the rain for about 15 minutes, and then we get a text message saying, oh, sorry, not coming, yada yada. This was from a shuttle service that was advertised on Gut Hooks and had confirmed with us the day before. Fortunately, we had also pinged Cricket to just ask for a price and hadn't got a confirmation, but she happened to be waiting at that trailhead just in case anybody came by. So it worked out. We were able to get into town and she was able to bring us back this morning. So we got moving earlier than usual because Jen has a new set of shoes that was mailed up ahead to Port Clinton. So we have to get there, get into town, pick up that box at the post office, and then we'll continue on out of town. Light resupply there. We have a couple of those backpacker beans and other things coming in the box with the shoes since there's always extra space in those. And then we'll probably supplement with stuff at Port Clinton. That'll get us further down the road, and we are within 4 or 5 days of being done with PA, which I'm really looking forward to. I don't know, it seems like once we're out of Pennsylvania, that's the last of those states that has the reputation of being, long, boring, hard, etc. Then they just get hard and interesting. I'm really looking forward to some of the views I've seen up ahead in other people's photos. Actual mountains, totally fine with the climbs. I just want views. And it seems like most of those states are on the relatively short side, so you always got little goals along the way. Man, this getting up and hiking earlier thing really helps you get miles. I'd almost say that we should start doing that more regularly, but I really like my coffee in the morning. Hey, through hiker versus slack packer salt. Taters didn't drink as much coffee this morning, so she's probably way back there. So just assume that she's saying scumbag. So interestingly enough, on the shuttle ride into town, we had another version of the story about the ATC removing water caches in this section. Story we were told was the person who has maintained the water caches in this area for 40 years was told by the ATC that they needed to pull them. Otherwise, they were going to direct the game wardens to have them fined and then arrested. There was no source other than they had heard it directly from the guy who maintains the water caches. Also, allegedly, the game wardens have stabbed and emptied some of the water caches in front of hikers even. Honestly, the people that I've heard that from have been so angry, it's been hard to kind of get like a reasonable thought on what could be going on. I don't know if they had a tainted water cache or what. I mean, don't get me wrong, with less than 100 miles of Pennsylvania to go, there have been some water carries, but it's nothing that's not doable. Even in that heat wave, you just have to plan out your day and camel up at the individual water sources. But they do really help some of the people that can't make bigger miles. And I mean, once again, in PCT land, there are very established water caches in California desert and also in Oregon. We're talking big 5-gallon jugs of water that are maintained and refilled by volunteers. And for some reason, those never come under fire. And those areas are a lot more wildernessy than here, let me tell you. So if anybody watching this has any more information, I am interested, you know, beyond me just people getting angry. I get nobody likes the ATC right now due to that whole pipeline controversy. So I don't know if this is just people looking for reasons to get angry or if there are kind of valid reasons behind why they would be removing these. 0.3 off the trail, but totally worth it not to have to try and dig a cat hole in this rocky dirt. And of course, more drama in the online community. Everybody, of course, remembers the machete-wielding mermaid woman. Now you have the hammer-wielding hombre, who was apparently staring down people and looking suspicious. So a few people got nervous, took pictures, reported him to the rangers, whole deal. Have I mentioned how bad these toe socks are at drying out? I like the Injinjis in some ways, but yeah, they don't do well in moisture.
I was worried that today might not be a good day, but here it is, keeping up the turtle streak. Sorry, I guess I scared him though. I'll keep moving on.
And there's an overlook of nothing much. Okay. I'm just saying, if we're making priorities, whatever involves beer and food, maybe that should be a higher priority, followed by candy, possibly dessert. Okay, I think we need to sell our van and buy that. It's got like a wrestling cage on the back, kayaks, giant hippie symbol, and Blondie's new shoes were successfully retrieved from the post office. So it's not uncommon to have hiker boxes around the various stops. And, you know, they're always a mix. Like you've got, these are probably fish oil, mystery capsules. Ooh, here's a tent stake capable of opening a wine bottle. Mystery coffee or fish food. These are usually bouillon cubes. The one surprise is, look at this. It's our favorite beans. We actually got a bunch of them, otherwise we'd probably be taking them. And we left Tater's shoes because they're not quite done.
And the highlight of Port Clinton. Aw.
Do not, whatever you do, order the Hiker Supreme nachos. Blondie's trying to kill me with diabetes. Okay guys, not only are there Bob Ross mints, but I don't think they have pot in them. That's weird. So, stop me if you've heard this one before, but we're about to leave town. I just got hit by a special weather statement that there is like a red thunderstorm cell aiming right directly for us. I really wish she hadn't pooped in that Indian burial ground because, oh wait, that was... So admittedly, I am a guy that is excited by the prospect of nachos. They're pretty much the boobs of the food world if you were to think about it. What's, I think she was looking at that thunderstorm. That was what that eye roll was about. Anyway, as I was saying, boobs of the food world, nachos, yes. So when I see something that says Supreme Hiker Nachos and it has a lot of ingredients, I'm like, oh yes, the time has come. The coming has been foretold. And then we order them and they were totally disappointing. It was kind of like a sad, kind of like salad on top of dry chips. It was neither Supreme nor really nachos. Even the 2 beers and the large amount of ice cream I ate couldn't really help my disappointment. And now we're getting nailed by a red thunderstorm again. Oh, here we are back on the trail, just waiting for the inevitable. The inevitable suffering.
Maybe it'll pass us by like it did 2 nights ago. That was really nice.
Except for that part that didn't pass us by. It rained on us as we were setting up and we got nailed the next morning. Okay, so for the record, that is thunder, and I am what you would call a optimistic realist. I cheerfully expect for the absolute worst to happen. And if it doesn't, I'm pleasantly surprised. Versus her back there. She's always expecting like kittens to fall out of the sky gently and land in her lap.
Making videos that enjoy this beautiful river.
Okay, so we are waiting to see if this storm is going to hit as hard as it's predicted or not. Okay, you know, I get like doing the crazy ramblings, but what does Alanis Morissette's best album have to do with it? So, how's your day going? We're basically bridge trolls now. So yeah, we are currently living under a bridge, and we are quite happy with that at the moment. Seriously, it was sunny about 10 minutes ago. Okay, so now it is sunny. We managed to ride out that storm under a bridge with the Wolfman of Helltown. So for everybody was like, oh yeah, your channel really jumped the shark since the Machete Mermaid and the Hammer Hombre are all like behind you. You're welcome. Okay, we were really torn here because after that storm, it actually got really nice. It's in the 70s. It hasn't rained on us. Hasn't been any more crazy people riding on bridges. But it is 4th of July weekend now, and we're starting to see more people on trail. So we found this open campsite and decided we're just going to stop. It's almost 8 o'clock. So home sweet home for the night.
Home sweet home.
We really hit that just right. The storm was heading towards us as we were leaving Port Clinton, and we basically came to a bridge and got under it right as the rain started. Like, it just started to get hard, and then we were under it. So we just hung out, and we contemplated all the writings of the Wolfman of Helltown and waited it all out. And then by the time we went on, it was sunny. And then we got back on trail and we run into this guy that's stripped down to his underwear, like soaking wet. I guess he was just going along and all hell broke loose. But he was just slack packer, so psh.